My wife cheated with my brother. Well, I took care of Dad, but my family had a dinner to make peace. They thought I'd smile and forgive them like nothing happened, so I brought proof of every betrayal to the dinner table and watched their faces crumble one by one. If someone had told me a few years ago that the woman I planned to grow old with would end up holding hands with my brother in a courtroom, I would have laughed in their face. But that's exactly what happened. And what I revealed that day left her absolutely speechless. I'm 32. My name doesn't matter here. What matters is that I used to be married to Anna. She's 31. People always said we were the perfect couple. You know the type college sweethearts, 4 years dating, married for 3. We were ticking all the boxes, solid careers, matching coffee mugs, Sunday meal preps, and a mutual love for the office. I'm a software developer, because of course I am textbook Reddit guy. And Anna, she worked in marketing. Emphasis on worked. We had the kind of life that looked great on Instagram. A cookie-cutter house in a cookie-cutter suburb with a white picket fence and neighbors who all pretended their identical homes were somehow unique. 2 rescue dogs, Max and Bella, because we were those people. A garden she swore she'd take care of, but never did. And a Peloton bike that cost a fortune and ended up as a high-end coat rack. Living the millennial dream, right? I met Anna at one of the lamest frat parties in college. I was that awkward, introverted computer science guy standing in a corner, nursing a warm beer. She was this tall, gorgeous marketing major who looked like she belonged in a rom-com. Way out of my league. But drunk me decided to take a shot with a pickup line about Java and coffee. I know, cringe, but instead of laughing me off, she actually smiled. I still don't know if it was genuine or just pity, but it worked. We talked all night, then we started seeing each other, and somehow things just clicked. She was into all my nerdy obsessions, or at least she pretended to be. Later on, I'd find out most of it was an act. But back then, it felt like magic. We'd binge entire seasons of shows over a single weekend. The Office was our thing. We even dressed up as Jim and Pam for Halloween once. Yeah, we were that couple. And I gave everything to that relationship. I'm not exaggerating, I was the guy who remembered not only anniversaries, but also dumb things like the date of our first grocery trip, or the first time we tried pineapple on pizza. She used to love that. I'd plan elaborate date nights, surprise her with little gifts, even taught myself how to cook her favorite pasta from scratch. 6 hours on YouTube for a single dish. Worth it at the time. The first 2 years of marriage were actually good. Sundays we'd cook together. Well, I cooked while she supervised with a coffee in one hand and her phone in the other. Weekends were for hikes with the dogs, game nights with friends, and way too many Instagram posts with cheesy captions like, living my best life with my person. She posted them all. I just smiled for the photos. Our friends called us couple goals. The kind of love that makes single people roll their eyes. Her family adored me. Her dad and I watched football together, even though I couldn't care less about sports. Her mom was convinced I needed to eat more, and would feed me these massive Italian meals. Her brother even became one of my Call of Duty teammates. Thursday night gaming was our thing. My family loved Anna too. My mom said she was the daughter she never had. Sorry, Jenny. Guess being my actual sister wasn't enough. And Ryan, my brother, he and Anna always got along almost too well, but I trusted them. Why wouldn't I? We had plans. Big ones. Kids in a few years. Better school districts. We even opened a savings account for a future down payment. Anna had names picked out for our hypothetical children. Thank God that didn't happen. I remember one night, maybe 6 months before everything fell apart, we sat out on the back deck, wine in hand, talking about where we'd travel once we retired. Growing old together. The romantic stuff you believe when you still think life goes according to plan. I wish I could go back and tell myself what was coming. Because that moment, that was the calm before the storm. Looking back now, the red flags were there. But I missed them. Or maybe I chose not to see them. That's the thing about love, it blinds you. As someone on Reddit once said, when you're wearing rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags. Year 3 of marriage is when things started to shift. Nothing explosive. Just small things. Anna started working late a lot. I told myself it was just the job. She said it was client dinners and team events. I believed her. But then she'd come home at 10 p.m. reeking of cologne that wasn't mine. Still, I brushed it off. Rationalized it. She started dressing up more for work events than she ever did for our date nights. And speaking of date nights, they became a joke. We had this Friday tradition, phones off just us, but she started skipping them, said she was too tired, or worse, she'd sit across from me and scroll through her phone the entire evening. There was one night I spent 3 hours making a fancy steak dinner. I lit candles, set the table, tried to recreate a meal from one of our favorite cooking shows. She barely glanced at it. When I finally asked if we could just talk, she snapped. God, can't I check my work emails? Some of us have important jobs. Because apparently, being a software developer at a Fortune 500 company meant I was just playing Minecraft all day. The cute little things we used to do? Gone. No more memes, no more inside jokes, no more stupid TikToks. She stopped asking about my day, stopped caring if I'd eaten, stopped seeing me as a person. Even Max and Bella noticed. They used to be her babies. She was the one who fought to adopt them. But now, she couldn't be bothered. Walks became my job. Playtime, I'm tired. You do it. They started acting weird around her, withdrawn, anxious. like they could sense the rot growing beneath our home. And yet, Anna was still obsessed with family appearances, always eager to see my parents, always asking about Ryan, playing perfect daughter-in-law for my mom. Meanwhile, Jenny, my sister, kept giving me these looks, like she wanted to say something but couldn't. I should have pushed her, but I didn't want to know. Not yet. I tried to talk to Anna more than once. One night I said quietly, I feel like we're drifting apart. She rolled her eyes, barely looking up. Oh my God, you're so needy. I'm just busy with work. I swallowed hard. I miss spending time with you. She sighed like I'd asked her to rearrange the solar system. Not everything is about you. I'm stressed, okay? I breathed deep. Tried again. Maybe we could try couples therapy, huh? She cut me off with a scoff. We don't need therapy. You need to stop being so insecure. That was the moment I realized she wasn't busy. She just didn't care. And when someone you love stops caring, that's the loneliest kind of silence. You know what gaslighting feels like. It's not always shouting. Sometimes it's silence. It's being made to feel crazy for noticing the truth. For months, I was stuck in that space, torn between what I felt and what I was being told. Anna made me feel like I was the problem. Like I was too needy, too sensitive, too much. So I went to therapy. Alone. I told myself it was to deal with my insecurities to become a better husband, and in some ways it helped. But mostly, it just made me realize I was the only one fighting to save a marriage that was already dying. Meanwhile, Anna kept up the charade. Online, we looked perfect. She'd make me take 50 photos just to post one with a caption like Sunday brunch with my forever and then go back to ignoring me. Instagram said we were thriving. Reality said otherwise. I started noticing more signs. She'd leave the room for phone calls. Whisper. Laugh in a way she hadn't in months, just not with me. One day I noticed her phone had a new passcode. Strange considering we used to share everything. Then she started doing her own laundry. That may sound small, but we'd always mixed our stuff together. Now suddenly she had delicates she didn't want me touching. Then came the gym membership. She joined this luxury place across town. We had a perfectly decent gym 5 minutes from home. But no, this one had eucalyptus towels and private trainers, and no reason for her to go there besides looking hot for someone that wasn't me. It was like watching a stranger move into your house wearing your wife's face. My buddy Mike, who'd gone through a brutal divorce himself, started raising red flags. Bro, something's off. You're not crazy. She's checked out. I defended her again and again. She's just stressed. It's a busy season at work. It'll get better. But deep down I knew. I just didn't want to believe it. So I did what any hopeful idiot does. I tried to fix it. I planned surprise date nights. Brought her flowers. Tried to reintroduce her to hobbies she used to love. And every time she treated it like an inconvenience. Like I was interrupting her real life to remind her she had a husband. Then came the Sunday laundry day. I was doing a load of her gym clothes again when I found a crumpled receipt in the pocket of her leggings. It was from a high-end Italian restaurant downtown. Tuesday lunch. Expensive. Fancy. She told me she was at a client meeting at the office that day. I stared at that slip of paper like it held the secrets of the universe. Something inside me snapped. That's when I checked our shared Google timeline. Yeah, the creepy location tracker most people forget is even running. I spent 3 hours piecing together her location history. Guess what? Those client dinners and team outings weren't happening at her office. They were happening at hotels, parks, random upscale restaurants. Everywhere except where she said she was. The pattern was so obvious it hurt. The nights she got held up at work, she was at the downtown Marriott. The weekends with conferences, she was at some Airbnb across the city. Still, I didn't know who she was with. Not yet. Then came the burner phone. I wasn't snooping. I was just grabbing her gym bag again, and this old iPhone fell out. Not one of those dead backup phones either. It had a passcode. Looked like it had been used recently. So I asked, "Hey, found this in your gym bag. Is it broken or?" She barely glanced at it, then her whole face changed. In a blur, she lunged forward and snatched it out of my hand like it was a grenade. That's private. Private. It was an old phone in our shared house. Why are you going through my stuff? She was shaking, clutching the phone to her chest like it was her lifeline. Her voice turned shrill. This is why I can't trust you. I just stood there. Somehow I was the villain now. Then fate intervened. In her rush to grab the burner, she knocked over her real phone. It landed face up on the couch. A message preview popped up on the lock screen. "Miss you, baby," from a contact named Work Project. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I watched. Over the next few days, I saw everything differently. The way she smiled when her phone buzzed. The way she checked to see if I was looking before walking into another room to whisper on the phone. One night I overheard her giggling. "Stop it. You're so bad." She froze when she noticed me standing there, then hung up. That was it. I pulled our credit card statements. Hotel charges, repeatedly. Always on days she claimed to be at client dinners, and not even classy hotels, Holiday Inns, and Red Roofs. Budget affairs for a budget betrayal. I couldn't take it anymore. I packed all her stuff. Didn't fold a damn thing. Just threw it into garbage bags and dumped them in the garage. Then I changed the locks and texted her. "Found the burner. Saw the charges. Don't come home. We're done." The fallout was nuclear. First came denial. "What are you talking about? You're being crazy." Then guilt tripping. "You never made me feel loved. I needed something more." Then threats. "I'll tell people you abused me. My lawyer will ruin you." And then the performance. She showed up at the house sobbing, pounding on the front door, screaming for me to talk. Meanwhile, I was on the couch, dogs at my feet, watching the meltdown on our Ring camera like it was Real Housewives' suburban betrayal. I didn't answer, but she wasn't done. The next few days, she launched a PR campaign worthy of a politician, called everyone we knew, spun a story about me being controlling paranoid cold, how she never meant to hurt anyone, and we just grew apart. People started calling, texting. Hey man, heard you're going through something. Maybe talk it out. My mom told me marriage takes work. Everyone makes mistakes. Even Jenny, my sister, started acting weird. Distant, like she knew more than she was letting on. Then out of nowhere, Lily showed up. Quick background, Lily was Anna's best friend. Maid of honor at our wedding. Wine night buddy. Always around, but not exactly close with me. It was 11 p.m. I was binge-watching Breaking Bad, buried under a blanket of depression and dog hair. Doorbell rang. I checked the Ring camera, half expecting Anna. But it was Lily. She looked wrecked. Red eyes, messy hair, clearly drunk. I opened the door. Hey, you okay? She blinked, then whispered, I can't keep lying. She was shivering on my doorstep, mascara smudged and eyes bloodshot, like someone carrying the weight of a secret too long. Lily, Anna's best friend. Maid of honor at our wedding. The kind of I'd-die-for-you friendship that gets weekly wine nights and matching tattoos. But now, here she was barely able to stand, whispering the words that cracked my world open. I can't keep lying. She's been cheating for months. I just stood there, frozen. Part of me was expecting it hell I'd known. The receipts, the texts, the burner phone. But hearing it out loud, that still hit different. Who is it? I asked, my voice calmer than it should have been. She looked away, tears forming again. I can't. I just had a fight with her. A bad one. She's horrible to you. You're so kind, and she's just... Her voice cracked. I opened the door wider. Come in, water. She nodded. I helped her inside, and the moment she hit the couch, she collapsed like her legs had given out. The weight of guilt looked physical on her shoulders. I knew, she said, voice raw. I've known. I saw them together. Who? I asked again. She shut her eyes, trembling. It's worse than you think. Those words sent a chill down my spine. Suddenly, everything felt darker, heavier. You're going to hate everyone when you find out. My heart dropped. We talked for hours that night. Not just about Anna, but about everything, what it feels like to be lied to, the slow decay of a relationship, the mental gymnastics you do to convince yourself things are fine when they're not. Lily opened up, and I started seeing her differently, not as Anna's shadow, but as her own person. She had this quiet depth to her. She listened. She cared. And for the first time in what felt like years, someone saw me. There was a pause, and then she whispered, You deserved better. I laughed dryly. She never acted like it. Lily didn't argue. She just looked at me. Really looked like she was trying to absorb the bruises I wasn't showing. We kissed. I didn't plan it. Neither did she. It wasn't about Anna. It wasn't revenge. It was just warmth, after years of cold. The next morning was awkward. Lily was embarrassed. I was unsure if I'd taken advantage. She kissed me first, but still, we agreed to keep everything quiet until the divorce was finalized. But the shift had already happened. For the first time, I wasn't just angry about what I'd lost. I was hopeful for what might come next. Meanwhile, Anna was spiraling. She showed up at my work. Security had to escort her out. She texted mutual friends to guilt-trip me. Suddenly remembered the dogs she'd ignored for months and begged to see them. Even started using Max and Bella like pawns. They missed me as if that erased what she'd done. But something else was off my family. My mom kept inviting me to dinner, but got weird when I asked who'd be there. Ryan, my brother, ghosted me. No more Thursday gaming. No texts. But I kept seeing pictures of him at family events. Events I wasn't invited to. Jenny stopped talking to me altogether. Then came court week. Frank, my lawyer, called the night before to prep me. Calm voice, firm words. Be ready for anything tomorrow, and I mean anything. Like what I asked. Just trust me, you'll want to be sitting down. Cryptic, right? My phone started buzzing non-stop. Messages from my mom. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive. Forgive what? Jenny tried calling 6 times, hanging up each time before I could answer. Even Mike, my best friend, texted. You okay, man? Just checking in? And Lily, she went quiet. Her last message was, I'm so sorry, you're going to hate me tomorrow. But please remember, I wanted to tell you. Then, nothing. I couldn't sleep that night. I stress cleaned the apartment top to bottom. The dogs followed me room to room like they were afraid I'd disappear next. I ended up passing out on the couch watching Gordon Ramsay scream at people. Weirdly comforting. At 3 a.m., an email from Anna popped up. Subject, please read before tomorrow. I didn't open it. I couldn't. But I stared at the subject line for a long time. Then the final message that broke me. From Ryan, my brother. Don't come to court tomorrow. We can settle this without making it messy. I'll explain everything later. That's when it all clicked. I sat there on the couch in the dark, scrolling through old photos on my phone like an idiot. One from last Christmas popped up, me, Anna, my whole family. Everyone smiling like life was perfect. And it was all fake. At 6 a.m., Frank texted, wear the navy suit. Look sharp, but not flashy. And no matter what happens, don't lose your cool. I got to the courthouse early. Sat in the parking lot for an hour, watching strangers walk inside, all carrying their own broken stories. Then Lily arrived. She looked pale, hollow. We made eye contact. She didn't wave. Just walked in. My stomach flipped. Then my parents showed up together. Tense. My mom tried to wave at me. My dad stopped her. They went inside quickly like they were late for something. Then Jenny pulled up. She saw me and ran inside. That's when I knew whatever was coming, it was going to wreck me. I walked into the courtroom like I was walking to my own execution. Frank was already there. Calm, collected, going through papers like he was assembling a nuclear code. Then the doors opened, and Anna walked in, wearing a white dress, like some Twisted Virgin Mary cosplay. But that wasn't the worst part. She was holding hands with Ryan, my brother. There she was, Anna. My wife, well, soon-to-be ex, walking into the courtroom like she was auditioning for sainthood, wearing a flowing white dress hair, curled fake innocence dripping from every step. But the real punch, she was holding hands with Ryan, my brother. Not just walking beside him holding his damn hand. In front of everyone. In court. As if this was normal. As if this wasn't a direct flaming dagger through my spine. I felt my legs move before my brain caught up. Frank, my lawyer, grabbed my arm and hissed under his breath. Sit down. Let them bury themselves. So I sat, shaking, burning, eyes locked on the scene in front of me. Anna and Ryan sat at the other table with their lawyer, a kid who looked barely old enough to rent a car, let alone defend the most disgusting betrayal of my life. Ryan refused to meet my eyes. Anna kept sneaking glances like she was gauging if I'd snap. I didn't, not yet. The judge walked in. Older guy. The kind of face that had seen decades of families implode in this exact room. He adjusted his glasses, looked over the paperwork and said, "Let's begin." Anna's lawyer stood up and started spinning the kind of story that would have made a Hallmark movie blush. Apparently, Anna and Ryan had discovered love in an unexpected place and were trying to handle it with grace and honesty. That they never meant to hurt anyone, but sometimes the heart just wants what it wants. I sat there thinking I must be having a stroke. Grace. Honesty. These two people were sneaking around for months at hotels, parks, anywhere they could hide, and now I was supposed to believe this was some magical love story. Then Anna started crying. Full sobs. Talking about how confused she was during our marriage, how Ryan helped her through the darkness, and how things just happened. Just happened. Like they tripped and fell into bed, repeatedly, in multiple zip codes. Then their lawyer made the boldest move of the day. He argued that the prenup should be void. Said the emotional complexities of the situation, namely the fact that Ryan was my brother, created extenuating circumstances. Frank leaned back in his chair smiling. He stood up slowly, adjusted his tie, and said, "Your Honor, before we continue, I'd like to present a more accurate version of this so-called love story." Then he opened a folder I hadn't seen before. He laid out screenshots of texts from the burner phone, hotel receipts paid with our joint account, bank statements showing Anna and Ryan funneling money between accounts, photos, time-stamped, intimate, taken before we even separated, GPS history from Anna's phone proving they were together while she lied about work. But the worst, emails. Emails between Anna and Ryan planning how to stage their relationship after the divorce. They had a rollout plan like it was a PR campaign. Wait until the legal stuff was done, then come out as a couple, publicly claim it all just happened. It wasn't an accident. It was a strategy. The judge's face grew darker with every page. He started firing questions about the timeline, the money, the lies. Anna stammered. Ryan fumbled. Then the judge said the words I'll never forget. "This court does not look kindly upon deliberate deception. The prenuptial agreement stands." Just like that, everything they tried to pull unraveled. No fairy tale ending, no loopholes, just consequence. Court adjourned. I walked out without a word. But my family, they didn't get it. A week later, my mom started texting me. A lot. At first it was, "We miss you." Then family is forever. Then she sent a group message announcing Sunday dinner. "Everyone will be there. We're fixing this." Fixing. There's no pot roast on earth good enough to erase the image of my wife and brother sneaking around behind my back. I ignored it. Until Jenny called me, crying. "Please come. Mom's falling apart. She thinks if we just eat together, we can go back to normal." I laughed so hard I nearly choked. Normal? You really think any of this is normal? I know, she sobbed. But maybe do it for Mom. Is Ryan going? Silence. Is Anna? More silence. I hung up, but something inside me snapped. Maybe it was the anger I'd been pushing down. Maybe it was the bourbon I'd been sipping. But I texted Jenny back. "Fine, I'll come, but not for peace. I wanted to see them squirm." I showed up right on time. Everyone else was already there. Anna and Ryan on the love seat acting like newlyweds. My mom fluttering between trays of hors d'oeuvres. My dad pretending to care about the golf game on TV. Jenny handed me a drink the second I walked in. "We saved your usual seat," my mom said, gesturing between Ryan and Dad. I stayed standing. The tension in the room was so thick it could have broken forks. Ryan tried to make small talk. "Hey bro, how's work?" I stared at him, silent, unblinking. Did he really think we were just going to pretend none of this happened? "Let's eat!" Mom chirped, desperate to steer the ship. "I made your favorite lasagna." We sat down at the dining table. Fancy china? Cloth napkins? Candles. Like a funeral for our family. My dad said grace. Thanked God for bringing us together again. I nearly laughed out loud. 10 minutes of chewing and throat clearing passed. Then my mom launched into her speech. We're family. Families forgive. What happened was unfortunate. But Ryan and Anna are in love, and they're getting married in June. We'd love for you to be there. I blinked, then laughed. Are you insane? It would mean the world to your brother. I stood so fast, my chair toppled backward. My brother. You mean the one who was screwing my wife while I was caring for Dad during his cancer treatment? Dead silence. My dad looked up like he'd just heard a different language. What? Oh yeah, while you were getting chemo, Ryan was playing house with Anna. Ryan turned white. It wasn't like that. I pulled out my phone, opened the folder Frank had given me. Security footage. Timestamps. Here. This one. That's from the day of your first chemo session. Remember that, Ryan? When you said you couldn't make it to the hospital because of work, Mom started crying. Jenny looked like she wanted to evaporate. And this one, Christmas Eve. When you said you were stuck at the airport, guess my bed was more comfortable, huh? Anna fled the room. Ryan chased after her. My mom sobbed into her hands. My dad just stared at his plate. We didn't know, he mumbled. Didn't know or didn't want to. I picked up my coat. Thanks for the lasagna. Don't invite me to the wedding. At the door, I turned. Oh, and Ryan Anna's got a thing for her ex's brothers. You might want to keep her away from any you've got. Then I walked out. I didn't go home that night. Instead, I drove straight to Lily's. Still in my dinner clothes, still smelling like Mom's lasagna and a decade of betrayal. When she opened the door, she didn't ask a thing. Just pulled me in and hugged me like she knew everything, like she'd been holding her breath waiting for me to show up. She poured us drinks, and we sat on her tiny balcony for hours, watching the city buzz beneath us, like nothing had happened. Like the world hadn't just flipped upside down. But it had. And for once, I didn't feel like I had to pretend. We didn't talk about Ryan or Anna, not at first. We talked about the real stuff. The stuff you save for 3 a.m. confessions and long drives. Things we'd both let slide for years. Dreams we put on hold. Places we wanted to visit. How neither of us really liked olives, but kept trying them anyway, hoping someday we would. At one point, Lily looked at me, eyes soft, voice quiet. You know what the worst part was? Watching her throw away someone who actually gave a damn. That's rare, you know? And that hit something in me. Because she was right. I did give a damn. I bent over backward, trying to hold something together while Anna was already halfway out the door with my brother. And despite everything, despite all the anger, shame, and gut punch moments, I still wanted to believe in love that didn't destroy people on its way out. The next few weeks were quiet, in a way that felt like breathing for the first time in years. Lily and I didn't rush anything. We watched terrible movies, took Max and Bella to the dog park, cooked meals we both screwed up, laughed over dumb inside jokes. And every time we were together, it felt honest. No filtered version of life. Just messy, real connection. It's been 4 months since the courtroom, and a lot's changed. My dad finally left my mom. I think watching her defend Ryan while he was still battling cancer was the last straw. He got an apartment across town, started therapy. We grab coffee sometimes. Still awkward, but at least it's real. Jenny started talking to me again. She apologized, like really apologized for not saying anything. She said she was scared. The telling me meant tearing the family apart. And yeah, part of me gets it. But another part, it'll never forget that silence. My mom still sends those families forever texts. I delete most of them. Last I heard, Ryan and Anna postponed their wedding. Mom said they're waiting to see if I'll come around. I changed my number. A few weeks ago, I ran into them at the grocery store. Ryan looked like he wanted to say something. Anna suddenly found the organic produce section fascinating. I just walked past, grabbed my coffee, my frozen pizza, and left. Didn't feel a thing. And honestly, that's progress. Max and Bella love Lily. Like, really love her. Max, who takes forever to warm up to anyone, brought her his favorite toy the 3rd time she visited. Bella practically lives in her lap. It's like they knew before I did that she was good, that she was safe. A month ago, Lily and I made it official. We didn't post about it. No soft launch, no curated captions, just us being us. Our first real date was this tiny hole-in-the-wall ramen spot. We got so lost finding it that we ended up laughing in the rain for 20 minutes. She held my hand while we walked back, soaked and freezing, and I swear it was better than any fancy dinner Anna and I ever had. I moved into a new apartment. No security cameras, no ghosts, just a place I could call mine. Started playing guitar again. Still suck at it. Lily says she likes it anyway. She lies well. The other night I was cooking dinner. She was sitting on the counter telling me about her day, legs swinging dogs at her feet, and I felt it hit me like a slow wave. This is what peace feels like. Not perfection. Not Instagram-worthy romance. Just peace. Genuine. Quiet. Mine. Do I still get angry sometimes? Yeah. That kind of betrayal doesn't just vanish, but I don't live in it anymore. I don't carry it around like a weight strapped to my chest. Last week, Lily found an old photo of me and Anna in a junk drawer. Want to throw it away? She asked gently. I looked at it. We were smiling, probably at some family BBQ. Ryan might have even taken it. But the smile on my face in that picture didn't reach my eyes. And now, for the first time since it all exploded, I felt nothing. No sadness. No regret. Just nothing. I tossed it in the trash. Went back to making dinner. Lily turned on some music. The dogs begged for scraps. Just another night. No drama, no lies, no pretending. And you know what? That kind of normal. It's everything.